traction again. He now used the word with extremely powerful groups in the United States of America. Wow. Do you understand what this man is saying? He said, our message has taken flight. That is another word he said. And most importantly, I want you to really hear this. He said, we have pushed the Nigerian government into acting. Not by carrying a placard everywhere, not by carrying a Biafra flag. No, diplomatically, strategically. This man selected the words that he used in describing the effectiveness of our lobbies. Now, compared to what that mad beggar said, you don't need lobbies. Imam Madabu, you don't need lobbies. Or Koma, you don't need lobbies. But look at what a stranger, even though he's supposed to say everything that will support and protect the image of Nigeria, he is here on a TV, Arise TV, and everybody might have logged in to listen to this interview, giving credibility, giving a plausible hand to our lobbyists. We have pushed Nigeria out. We made Nigeria to wake up from their slumber. He said we have pushed the Nigerian government into acting. Honestly, I wanted to be playing the video and we'll be talking like this, but there is no time. There is no time, honestly. So he said we have pushed the government into acting. Not Nigeria acting on its own, no. Not Nigeria being proactive, no. We were already proactive before Nigeria because our lobbyists know that they will come at the dying minute. So he said reacting, responding to what we did, because all of us did it. Our lobbyists and our prime minister, they are there to represent Biafra. So Nigeria is reacting to what we did. What did we do? The little kobo kobo. Now, if we increase the kobo kobo, what do you think will happen? There will be earthquake. The foundation will shake. You see? Our money is not wasted. I told the saboteurs that we're destroying other people, making them. I said the best person to give your money to is our Prime Minister Oge Nkere because he will be accountable for it. He knows how to manage it. Now look at the result. All of you that gave Ngozi Orabreze your money, where is it today? Nothing. Nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that is from Patrick Smith's own mouth. He said it on Nigerian television. Had it been they knew this is what he would say, maybe they wouldn't have conducted the interview. So this is not Biafra propaganda. No. This is independent, credible, professional validation that they've given to us. Are you following me? I don't know if you are still hearing me.
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Good morning. Are you guys hearing me?
Who put on mute everyone? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we are hearing. Are you guys hearing? Please.
Oh, wait, my co-host, all the while I've been talking, did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So if you look at the timeline now, you see how Nigeria went from ignoring us to spending this amount of money.
I should close it and start it.
The timeline, if you look at now, it started from November 1st. This is where everything began. And that was when President Trump made a statement. Their own started November 1st. But we have been lobbying for years. We were so proactive in this. We were so proactive and they did not take us serious. They were busy arresting our leaders, not knowing that we were in the corridor hall in Washington, D.C. We were so proactive and we were ready for a day like this. They were there drinking champagne, arresting this one, locking up this one, gathering fake people to go and give testimony against our leaders. We were so focused. So, but for them, they woke up late. When Donald Trump on November 1st, 2025 made a statement that he said, I'm going to quote his word directly, that he has prepared to go into Nigerian guns a-blazing to stop what he called a genocide against Christians. That was what Donald Trump said. And if you look at how it happened, you see that President Trump didn't just wake up one morning and decide to threaten Nigeria. No. Something got him. Something got to him. For years, from years back, someone reached him. And Patrick Smith told us who? The Biafra lobbyists are the ones that reach out to Donald Trump with our allies in the evangelical Christian community, which he made reference to. that we have been so effective at making the case about Christian persecution in Nigeria that it reached the Oval Office. He said it. That was the first time he made reference to extremely powerful, with all the evangelical mission that we have working together. So we had to echo the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. So when you just think about that, you see that our lobbyists, working with a relatively small budget that we are able to generate, and that reminds me, we are not in this program to begin to name the amount that we are paying our lobbyists and all that. That is not what we are here for. Please, yeah, we are here to, let the world know how effective our lobbyists are and what we are supposed to do to increase this output and outcome that we have. Now we have professional and global validation. The testimony is not coming from our mouth, it's coming from an activist, a journalist, a UK national that should have been protecting the image of Nigeria, but he kept it aside and said, no, this is overwhelming. I can't keep it to myself. I have to come out and tell the whole world. And please, Biafrans, this man is passing a message to you. Say, wake up, support your freedom. That's the message he's passing. He did not hide his mouth. So our lobbies, working with this relative small budget that we have, managed to get this message all the way to the President of the United States. It's not luck. I will not call that luck. I will call that strategic, effective lobbying. It's not luck. We did not throw dice. And if you see what now happened, what Nigerian did next, immediately Trump announced these guns are blazing. Between that 2nd November and the 19th November, bam, we saw Ribadu, the chief terrorist that scrambled to Washington, D.C. All this is found in the interview. And I mean scrambled, because that is what he did. He didn't just go alone. He took military intelligence officers with him. And they held this emergency meeting with U.S. Department of Defense. They now met with Trump-affiliated officials. And on November 20, just 20 days after Trump's trade, Ribadu and his delegation met with Pete, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, and other senior military officials in America. Now, if you look at what is happening, you could see that, because Patrick pointed out this in his interview. He said Ribadu didn't need lobbyists to get to those meetings. He used Nigeria's normal diplomatic channels. This is what Patrick said. Now, as the national security advisor to a major African nation, he can pick up the phone and get a meeting with the Pentagon. So now, if he could already meet with the top US military officials, why would Nigeria then turn around and spend millions of dollars on lobbyists? Yes, that is the question Patrick was asking in that interview. And the answer he found is the most important part of this story. He asked the question, why? The people are even asking, why? Why spend so much money in lobbying? When terrorist Ribadu had to even organize the first meeting using their diplomatic relations, why would they now go and pay such amount of money? And we saw what happened in December 17. They signed the contract and they gave the first installmental payment, 4.5 million upfront, and they'll pay the later the balance by June or July this year. Now, the Nigerian government, which tells you that there is no money to fix road or hospital or their schools, found $4.5 million in case within 3 weeks and wired it to an American lobbying firm. That is panic. Who made them to panic? Patrick said it's not me, even though we know it is our lobbies. The lobbies of the Biafra Republic government that is extremely effective made it to happen. Now, here is what really reveals everything. Patrick said in his interview that the Tinubu administration thought we must conquer this. We must counter it, both what is happening in the Trump administration, and we must counter the narrative of the Biafran secessionists. I told you all what we'll be saying will be extracts from his interview. Counter the narrative. Did you just say what they said? Counter the narrative of the Biafran secessionists. Because Nigeria had to fight on two fronts now. This is my own understanding. Now, they have to deal with Trump's administration and his evangelical supporters. Front one. Now, front two. They have to counter our narrative. That is our story. So those are the two aims and objectives of this lobbying firm. So they are not spending these millions of dollars because they are confident in themselves. No, they are spending these millions of dollars because they are losing the narrative war. And Patrick just confirmed that.
Peter
He
Gabriel
explained that Ribadu didn't need lobbies for access.
Who are you
No,
asking that
he
question?
had already
Go to
had
your
that
page,
through
idiot.
diplomatic channels. So why hire DCI group, for God's sake?
Or Christian.
To fight the story,
funny people.
to counter what we
Your
are
useless
saying,
mama or
and
your,
to try
or
to
terrorist
regain
mama.
control of the narrative they've already lost and they can never get it back.
I get you there.
So this timeline tells you everything from the traitor till the last one that they are doing. So they need $9 million in lobbying because we are too effective for them to handle through normal diplomacy. That is what it means. So if you are a Biafra and you not carry your shoulder up, begin to do that now. But before you do that, make sure you do that with your J and your Ejema, because we have to increase the funding for more results. Nigeria is so afraid of us that they had to go and look for a lobbyist. Come on, you had the opportunity to organize a straightforward business face-to-face meetings, bilateral meeting, but now you went behind and got a lobbyist. Remember when the interviewer asked Patrick, is that a sign of a weakness? He said, no. It's what everyone is doing. That is a sign of a weakness. Yes, that is a sign of a weakness. That is what Nigeria did. So every single step of this timeline is Nigeria reacting to what we did. We set the agenda and they are responding to it. We put fire in their anus and they are running kitty, looking for water to go and put their buttocks to quench the fire. You see what is happening? So we must buckle up. If you now look at the $9 million US dollars contract, what it really says, you see that according to the document that they filed, because we need to understand what happened. Then I'll pass the mic before we go to the next segment. According to the document filed with the US Department of Justice, this document is already in the public. You can fetch it, you can get it. They hired Asta Legal, which is a law firm in Kaduna, and this law firm has office in Florida as well. And they now hired DCI Group on behalf of, yesterday I said, on behalf of National Security Advisor Ribadu, not on behalf of Nigeria, not on behalf of the Department of Defense in Nigeria, no, on behalf of Ribadu. The money that Tinubu paid 2.7 to cover his criminal record is on behalf of Tinubu. Now, this lobbying now is on behalf of Ribadu. I told you that before, they underline, why Ribadu? If it's there for the interest of Nigeria, why Ribadu? Because it is Islamic agenda. The OIC and all their allies have pumped money for them and said, make sure you Islamize Nigeria. And you will start that by making sure that the narrative that they are passing in Washington, D.C. does not fly. Make sure Nigeria is not divided. Make sure that Biafra does not disintegrate from Nigeria. Why is the contract between, why is the lobbying contract on behalf of Ribadu? Not even on behalf of the presidency. No, now they have removed presidency and projected Ribadu. What is going on? Do you follow? And the contract was signed by Olaleko. This is Tinubu's brother from that Star Legal and Justin from DCI Group. You know, this Justin of a man, as I said the other day, Trump appointed him in 2020 to be direct. They had direct connection. Two of them, him and President Trump, they had direct connection. Nigeria didn't just hire anyhow lobbyists, but come to think of it, they got mobilization by December, but they still had to be bombed on 25th of December. So it didn't stop anything. US don't believe in them because they are lying on the blood of innocent people. Anyway, we don't blame them. They are doing their jobs and they must, get paid whether they succeed or not. That's what they are doing. The contract is only for 6 months with this 750,000 paid monthly. Paid monthly, 750,000. So if they want to renew, it will now be $18 million in a year. You see what is happening? What are they paying for? Let's look at what they are paying for. DCI group shall assist the Nigerian government through Asta Legal in communicating its action to protect Nigerian Christians. Why Nigerian Christians now? When you say that Muslims and Christians are killed, when they said there was Nigerian Christian genocide, you said no. President Trump, you are lying. Only Christians and Muslims are being killed, not only Christians. But now you've gone to sign a contract to protect Nigerian Christian communities. Why? So the more they try to gain value, the more they expose themselves. And maintaining US support in countering West Africa jihadist group. And other, this is where I'm going to focus today. The other day I focus on the other part. And other destabilizing elements. That is what I'm going to focus on. Other destabilizing elements. We fall under this category of other destabilizing elements. That's where we fall under. For you to know that this is a war between Biafra and Nigeria. First part, communicating its action to protect Nigerian Christian communities. No, they are trying now to counter Trump's genocide. You see what is happening? They are not actually protecting Christians better. They are trying to communicate better about it. So for me, they are just spinning, you know. They are spinning. If it works, fine. And maintaining this support in countering jihadists. That is the Boko Haram and all that. We already know. But what of the other stabilizing elements? Who are these other stabilizing elements? It is me and you. Because they've already mentioned jihadist group. So who are the other destabilizing elements that Nigeria is spending this kind of money to counter? Smith answered this question for us. He said, Nigeria must counter the narrative of Biafran secessionists. That's what he said. We are the other destabilizing element these people are talking about. If we did not see our funding seriously, my brothers and my sisters, and those who are Biafra sitting on the fence, you are classified under destabilizing elements. That's what is happening. So it is either you come out now and fund your freedom, or you continue to be a destabilizing element in a passive way. If they have classified us destabilizing element, then we have to do something to continue to destabilize them. They can never come together and win us again. And that is why we have to fund. So they've literally put us in the same sentence as jihadist terrorist group in their lobbying contract. So why would they do that? They want to frame us. You know, they want to frame legitimate self-determination advocacy as a security threat. That is where they want to push us to. But the thing is that they came very late. They want America to see Biafra advocacy the same way they see terrorism. They have called us terrorists. There is no name that these people have not called us. But it is rather too late. It is too late for them to succeed. Now, look at what Patrick said. Because Patrick himself pointed out this absurdity. He said something really important. Let's listen to what he said. He said, a lot of people I have spoken to on the Nigerian side and the US side said, you know, there is a number of extremely talented diplomats within the Nigerian system who have a lot more credibility. I'm reading example of Patrick. He said, they come from the country, they speak the language, they know the issues, they know the political nuisances in all this, and they should be far more effective than engaging foreign lobbyists. That is what Patrick said. In that area, he said, if Ribado had a diplomatic access to organize meeting with a Department of Defense, why is he going to lobby? These are the response that he got from people. So when you think about what he's saying, you look at Nigeria has its own diplomat, smart, experienced people who know Nigeria intimately, who can speak with authority about their country. Those people will be more effective than paying Americans to speak for them. But do you know why Nigeria did not use their own diplomat? They will not, because the Nigerian diplomat can't credibly defend what is indefensible. They cannot do that. I saw the other day, what do they call it? What is this? Kuka. I saw in the news that he's beginning to change his words now, and that there is Christian genocide. Nigerian diplomats cannot defend what is indefensible. Because when they look at 10,000 people that have died in violence in Nigeria last year, according to Patrick, which he downgraded the number, because he cited this number from Ackley security trackers. Their diplomats cannot stand in front of American officials and say everything is fine. We are protecting Christians. There is no problem. It is not possible. Because it could be that one of their family members have also been killed by the terrorists. So they cannot do it. That is why they need Americans to say it for them, because Americans don't carry the credibility problems that Nigerian officials do. They don't. So it means Nigerian narrative is so weak. It is so weak, so unconvincing, so contradicting by the fact on the ground that they can't even trust their own people to defend them. They have to pay foreigners this huge amount of dollars to try to sell a story that their own diplomats can't make it believable at all. You see what is happening? So that sound of, of a failing narrative completely. And that is what desperation looks like. So I will yield my mic here before I go to the next session about our lobbies, and then also use that session to reinforce people, remind people of how our Prime Minister Oge Nkere became the Prime Minister, and that CLC was dismembered, because it's like some people have forgotten. They feel that we just wake up from our slumber or from sleep and say, oh, let us conduct election. No, that is not what we did. We are following our charter and our bylaws. CLC was dismembered. So we will look into that in the next session. I will yield my mic here to my co-host to have one or two things to say, or any other person that have anything to say. Please, we'll try to, you see, I'm rushing. I didn't even follow the what I prepared, so that we can touch all these areas. So thank you so much. My co-host, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much. You have already
terrorists are scared of Trump.
so many
you hate
areas.
Oge Nkere because he bringing Trump. You love Ngozi Arabeze because now your Fulani brothers and sisters. You called us Biafra, and you are answering Kelechi. Then we know that you are a terrorist.
So I love the way you.
If you like, go change them. We know you guys. We know all of you. 90% of
the $9 million
fighting against our PM Oge Nkere.
So I think
Fulani terrorists who don't like Trump. We are bringing Trump. All of you must collect your breakfast.
When they paid $4 million.
If you are here listening to me, if I see your comment against what we are doing, I will track you down. I'm in America. Go to that platform you love. Go to Fulani terrorist platform. We are here for Biafra. We are not here for Fulani animals. So if you are hearing my voice, go to your platform right now. If you don't like our PM, if you don't like Biafra, if you are one of obituary or you one of the Fonchayari bastards, go there right now. Out. Before if I catch you here, thunder that will strike you is pressing up in my house. Good morning. Thank you for sharing in NNAMDI. Yes, I see everybody.
That we have our lobbies, and they really did very, very, very absolutely well, because we didn't have this kind of lobbies that was only just interested on how much that will be paid or how much they will receive. But this was not just lobbies, but
even people that don't have Biafra name, Biafra, na comment.
I'm telling you,
did we invite you? Go to your platform,
what
terrorists.
for us to get.
Zoo is panicking, yes.
Stage. So
they are panicking because Trump is coming. They are useless leaders. Never even spoke about Christian genocide, and they claim Christianity. We are Biafra Fulani. We are Biafra Muslims. Let them be this.
Decided to wake up or realize.
All of them.
So, I'm that we are seeing here now is just it's not just as if maybe they are just realizing, and sometimes they try to ask some kind of question, but those questions they are asking is not just about themselves, but it's about trying to control or trying to to diagnose the mindset of the audience or the people who are listening. In the case of where you see when the journalists, the Nigerian Janjaweed journalists,
raise your volume because speaker, we are not hearing you.
The activities of the Biafran government in exile, it is a threat, or So it wasn't really, he wasn't really referring to themselves, or maybe to the government, to the, they were referring, trying to psychological, because they are the one asking the question, they are the same people answering the question. So you see, instead of the journalist to go and ahead and give the straight answer that yes, it is, but you have to, romanize it, as an international journalist, there are people or from the zoo, they do not have brain, they cannot think properly, they cannot articulate, so they try to. But I thank God for anti-tutors, because they have just said it all, trying to throw more light and letting us know how this $9 million is being spent. So, and the fact still remains that we are 1,000 steps ahead of them, and the only way we can continue to maintain and definitely get this victory is the reason why we are, doing what we are doing and making it, open, making sure that our people understand the need, for us to, intensify our support for this government, because we have all seen. Now you can see the testimonies everywhere. It is not a joke. In fact, at this particular time is the time for is a wake up call for everyone, because it sounds as if maybe it's just a wake up call for the Nigerian terrorist state, but no, it has been there, but they are just trying to see how they can calm, and because things are really getting out of hand and we are winning, so, and they really have to do this and to see how they can, like what they say, damage control or whatever. So that was what they were trying to do there, those analysis and all those things they are doing. But meanwhile, doing so, also gave the opportunity, for the Biafran government in exile, to be vindicated in their activities, and in their activities and their good works, making sure that that the Biafran people is being recognized, the awareness and the atrocities, and all the evil agendas that has been going on. So through the Biafran government in exile, you know, um, so many things has been able to be exposed, and then now today the zoo and their co-host and now they are not talking about it. So this is the reason why we as a Biafra are supposed to know that this is the time for us to come together and make sure that we put our hands together and support this government that is really, moving these mountains, making the zoo to panic, making them to lobby for about $9 million, trying to, fight something that they can never ever win. But if we have fold our hands and we never, have these good lobbies who has really taken us through the right corridors, through the right channel, not taking us around, beating around the bush, come of it. With this, their $9 million, even with the $4 million deposit they did last year, would have been something talking about something else. They would have been succeeded in fighting us from that place, and that would be the end. So, but thank God for Mazi Elias and 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 his and our Prime Minister. You know, we really appreciate their efforts that they have put in, because it's not just sit back and paperwork, and it also involved evangelists. So many people were laughing at our prime minister then when he always carried that bag. They say he's going there to snap pictures, but these are the results that we are seeing today. So I wouldn't want to take much of our time, because we didn't really have much time anyway. So I thank you very much, and because you really said a lot. And let me just give the mic here and allow Mazin number to come in. Meanwhile, maybe we might have other people that will also want to come in too. I see you, my boss, Mazin Toti. Greetings from here. Mazin number, you have the mic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, 1 million. Inside 1 million. My lady tutors lecturer, thank you so much for coming up. Yes, I've actually all protocol observed. Actually need the detail, even over-explained to the extent that anybody who claim he don't understand what has been played out Britain is against Biafra, and such person from British. So that little truth come out from his mouth explain it all. Even when they're trying to avoid even the Nigeria terrorist media reporter, trying to say group actually measure the Biafra government in exile. So, and who are they? That is the effort of our Biafra government's exile prime minister and our lobbyists. And I want you to understand one thing. It doesn't matter what they do when you are with the truth. Everything Biafra government presented to the Congress are factual, verifiable, evidence-based, facts and figure, verifiable. We are not dwelling on the propaganda. Okay? That is where when I see some of you who think that you can fight what we're doing using AI nonsense, think that you are enemy because we don't dwell on propaganda. If anything, propaganda is among what is presented to Donald Trump, that would have destroyed everything. But they went after the investigation. They found out that Biafra presented factual facts, evidence-based, not fake, not propaganda. So that is it. So I want you to understand that there are what is on your wrist. You don't need mirror to glance at it. What you put on your wrist need no mirror to glance at it. If I want to, okay, so anybody don't need to communicate to the America or the president your effort in protecting Christians. It's supposed to be seen. Supposed to be seen among the people. Supposed to be seen in Nigeria, the victim, those who are victims. Everything is supposed to be seen, not you going to pay money to communicate that, mean that show that you are evil, you are a liar, you are nothing but a murderer, you are nothing but deceitful terrorist organization. Okay, that is what you are, because you need no lobby in communicating your efforts. Just like when you said your governance is actually yielding fruit that positively for the interest of the people. So that's supposed to be seen on the common man, not going to the to capital city like Abuja to show. Go to the rural area. Then, if they can testify of their of being getting things affordable or living a good life, then you know that yes, that's your claim of good governance is actually truth. Not when you go to the few people that are living in urban area, then instead you are no, that is not. So we only foolish people we subscribe to that. I believe is an insult to Trump, thinking that you use lobby to come and tell him that you are working hard to protect Christians. Why is nowhere to be found? You don't need lobbyists to do that. So those of you who are reasonable Nigerians, you should know whether Biafran people, what we are doing, where we are doing something wrong or something that you need to support if you truly want freedom. Because propaganda has been the order of the day by Nigeria media reporters and catch and report. I call them catch and report, copy and paste. Media reporters who are also media terrorists, because they are good at speaking lies, suppressing the facts, trying to paint those who are fighting for what is their right bad while speaking good of the oppressors. That is what I've been doing. They know how to divert attention. You see how that Cheung, who is taking accent while trying to sound American or sound British while in Nigeria, always like to cover the truth. But let me tell you, all of them will surely steal from their own juice. Okay? So this is to tell you that Biafra, the government in exile, is doing the right thing at the right channel. Some of you who are sitting on the fence, I will not ask you to leave the fence. You can continue sitting on the fence. Continue. But those of you who are genuinely, you know what to do it. One thing is to do the right thing, and that thing is to do it at the right time. Okay? So do the right thing at the right time, because this government, led by Prime Minister Oge Nkere, is following the template of a leader Mazinaka, Prime Samuel Ekpa. I was talking to a comrade, a former comrade, because I've called him a former comrade, because when you deviate from what I'm doing, I call you former comrade. When you're trying to dance on the tone of the narrative, you have rejected them. I say, are you going to be dancing on the tone of the enemy again? The same narrative your enemy is pushing is what you want to push. Freedom fighting can be achieved by emotion or sentiment. Okay? Don't bring emotion into it. What we did is exactly, in fact, it's long overdue. you know, because of the love we have our Prime Minister and all the sacrifices I've made that cannot be deleted by any man. Okay, we hold him in high esteem, our former Prime Minister. Yes, we love him and we stand by him, and we are the true love are among us, not those who are trying to dent his name by tagging him in every nonsense in the tag his name. You know, they think that we don't know that you have to indict him. You are trying to indict. You are going to be held accountable. You think we don't know what we're doing? We hold of you accountable because that's why I went to take picture with him. You see his suit, his jacket rough like that. All of you could not dress, put him in order. You allow his jacket to look like that of touts on the street. He can't even of you. You see it and ignore it. That picture speaks a lot to me. It speaks a lot to me. And those who can now that picture, know that all of you who went to that picture there, who went to Finland there, you are there, you are enemy of that Prime Minister, former Prime Minister. You are enemy of Biafra. You are enemy of Biafra government in exile. So whatever you win, we know where you stand. So Biafrans, tonight is fundraising to support our lobbies. When you praise a brave man for his great feat, he'll be spurred to do more. So that effort, our Prime Minister Oge Nkere, yes, Oge Nkere, Prime Minister Oge Chukwukama, God's time is the best. I'm saying, so that's actually amplified by putting a stand on the around him to put there, you know, to nurture him very well to be able to do more and our lobbyists. Okay, this is when you have truth. When you have truth and stand consistency personified, no matter, you must, even some people who collected bribe from the zoo, they will turn against them. Mark it somewhere. Those people, they used $20 billion to bribe. The natural justice will push them to do the right thing when the time comes. Okay? Because we have the truth that cannot be erased, they cannot be covered with mere propaganda. Okay? The truth is evidence-based, is everywhere. So support, stand on the truth, and never fidget, never change as long as you're on the truth. Remain consistent, personified, and that's what we're doing. And I can assure you, we're going to be victorious. We are going to be victorious. We have no other thing until victory is assured. Remember, a quitter does not win, and a winner does not quit. Remember, closer the victory, tougher the battle, and greater the risk, greater the profit. Good number.
All right. Thank you so much, Onyeka, for your submission. Thank you. God bless you for that. Okay, Biafrans, we have a lot to talk about because in this session now, I have to bring back the minds of Biafrans so that they know that we are not doing anything outside our bylaws and our charter. So we are going to start with our Mazi Obong Elias, which I call the David. And in this David, we have the David and we have the Goliath story. Yes, so, you know, he's a very young, vibrant man, very, very active, unlike the old Fulani brain that a Nigerian terrorist government have, and with all their middlemen. Look at how our own works. Our Prime Minister and his cabinet members directly communicate with our lobbyists, but Nigeria, they have a middleman. It is all about money, nothing more. Asta will get his own share. After getting his share, he will not pass to DCI. It's all about money. But our own is not like that because we have nothing to hide. They transparency, face to face, no middleman. You see what is happening? So our Mazi Elias, I just want to introduce him to some people that may just be joining us. And then please, I have checked. It's like only 10 people share the space. Ogini, kindly share the space, please. We are not going to stay longer in the space. So this is the man that is going toe to toe with the $9 million dollars lobbying operation. And we know very well that he founded his Madison and Washington and Madison LLC, a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C. And before this time, he was a partner and vice president at Moran Global Strategies, where he started working on Biafran issues. So it's not new to us. And when he left Moran Global to start his own firm, he took his Biafran and Eritrean clients with him. He cannot leave us behind because he promised to be with us until Biafra is restored. And on January 10, 2026, he announced on social media that Washington and Madison will continue to represent the Biafra Republic government in exile. This is the man that has been representing us, and you could hear Patrick Smith say that they are extremely effective. Hey yo! And you know, he's a Republican fundraiser, and he understands how Republican politics works. He knows who to talk to, he knows how to talk to them, and he knows the messages that will resonate with these people. So he's not in any interface. No, he has come out of interface to really go into the mitotic cell cycle. So he knows he's in the growing stage now. He's no more in interface. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's working with Amanda Biri, who is our attorney. He also have a very good background in facilitating any case he handled. He was the legal counsel to Muammar Gaddafi Libya in 2003 settlement, where Libya accepted responsibility for the bombing and paid $2.7 billion to compensate victims' families. So he's a very good intellectual, and he can handle complex cases. Yes, so they are doing exceptionally well for Biafra Republic government in exile and for all of us. This is the reason why Patrick said, yes, they are extremely effective. And according to the contract that he has filed with the US government, our Briggy, we know the little that we have is what we are paying them. As I say, we are not here to discuss whatever we are paying. That is not our problem. But we know what Nigeria is paying, 750,000 a month, which they can never win this fight. So we are spending little, and they are happy to accept the little that we are giving to them, because it's not about money. Lives are at stake. They are very focused. They need results. Nigeria is about money. Who can grab the highest share, even when they know that they are lying? It's about money. And Patrick confirmed this, that they are extremely effective.
My host, can I just say something, please?
Okay.
If it is about money, what about the victory ahead? Is it not worth more than money? So that is the importance. Because the money now that they are paying now, the 9 million or 10 million or 20 million, it doesn't really matter. But the achievement, the victory, the lives that they are trying to save is even much more important. So the reward at the end, the victory ahead, is even worth more than this money. So I really urge them to continue to do the good work that they are doing, because this one is not a matter of money. This is about truth and the facts. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry if I have made you to lose your line of thought.
Yeah, it's okay. So we are winning the narrative, my people. We are winning the narrative with a fraction of their budget. What is this little payment buying for us? According to the African Confidential Reporting, Madison and Washington, D.C., LLC, is going to push for sanction against Nigeria. That is what that little payment we are giving is going to buy for us. It's going to buy the sanction on Nigeria. It's going to push for the sanction against Nigeria officials at federal, state, at state level, at local level, not just the president. Everyone involved in oppressing Biafrans, they are going to go after the governors, all of them, all the security personnel, everyone. If you have ever killed a Biafran, this same penny that we are giving will do another thing. It will drive the US engagement with what they are calling a putative Biafran administration. So meaning they are working to get US officials to treat Briggy as legitimate, which have already treated us as legitimate government in exile, not Ngozi Orabeze or Imam Madabu. Let me tell you people, these people don't have the power. They are not an entity. That is why even with the charter in their hand, they cannot conduct election to have a prime minister. They cannot, because they know very well they are not legitimate. If they bond them well, let them conduct election. Let us see with our charter. They cannot try that. A man, mother, I'm coming to him. God will give me time. He knows that he was a dismembered committee. He can never, because it's not legitimate, he can never conduct election to be a prime minister. Under which umbrella, under which law? Ngozi Orebeze knows that we have not gotten our sovereignty to reclaim the United States of Biafra. Already her own has like 4 combinations of names. So she cannot. I don't know why Biafrans are not reasoning. They cannot ask questions. Say, Briggy have just conducted election. What are you waiting for? They don't have the capacity. They don't bond them well. You see? So we are already a legitimate entity. And the United States of America knows us very well. This same couple that we are paying now is going to, garner for support for military strikes. Yes, you heard me very well. They are making the case that if the US is serious about stopping Christian persecution, they might need to take military actions, and an independent Biafra will be a partner in that, not Nigerian terrorist government that will collect the weapons and pass it to their terrorists. Sultan of Sokoto is waiting for the next arrival of weapons so that he will collect and pass it over to his terrorists. That is the reason you've not seen him since his territory was bombed on 25th December 2025. That same kobo that we are paying will facilitate favorable oil deals for us. That kobo, our lobbyists will tell US oil companies that an independent Biafra will be much better business partner than the corrupt terrorist country, Nigerian government. And that our Biafra oil resources will be more accessible to American companies. There will be no extortion. There will be no oil theft. That is what the kobo will do. Now, Elias has his own firm. He's not answerable to any organ. He is the boss of himself. So he knows exactly what he is doing. And he has a target. He has a focus. And he is bed of the same feather with our prime minister. They know what they want. This kobo, he will use it to explain to US officials the role of what we call Nigerian government proxies in Biafra land. They are specifically calling out Southeast governors, all of them, accusing them of acting against US interests because they are cooperating with the American adversaries. So the contract actually says these governors are enabling malign foreign influence. You see the way they've been inviting Iran and all of them to our Biafra land. In the oil rich of Gulf of Guinea, which belongs to us. So they are going to fight to make sure these people stop this extortion that they are doing in Biafra land. So they are not just asking politely for support. No, they are making a strategic case that aligns with Biafra independence, with American national security interests. So who will not buy into this? Who signed this deal? Who signed this contract on our behalf? It is our Prime Minister Oge Nkere. Yes, and we know where he stays, in Baltimore, Maryland. Hey, yo. That is the person that signed it. On January 14, 2026, Briggy cabinet member unanimously elected him, whether you like it or not, as the prime minister, replacing our previous prime minister, Simon Ekpa. It is now that our former prime minister will have peace of mind because these people have been bombarding this man with so much tension. Ngozi will stand at the other side, bombard him. Emma will stand at this side, bombard him. All of them. Now the man will have peace. When they go to him, he will say, no, I'm no more the prime minister. Go and find your way out. He will have peace now and live long. They want to kill him. They want to raise his BP. Meanwhile, they know that he cannot solve their problem from detention. But still, they are mounting pressure on him. So now he will have peace. So we needed to replace him because he has been detained in Finland and has been sentenced. How many years? 6 good years. So now I know, some of you are going to have feelings about this. Yes, you can have, but we are not here to fight freedom with emotion. Some of us, all of us here, we are loyal to our former prime minister. We love him so much. But then we have to keep that emotions aside so that they too can come out. If we attach emotion and say, okay, hey, we want to wait, that is not what our former prime minister wants from us. No. He wants us to forge ahead because he knows that he has taught us enough and we understand the game that Finland and Nigeria is playing to make sure he doesn't come out. He is there because of Biafra. Onyendu is there because of Biafra. So many people were loyal to NNAMDI KANU, who is still in detention. And I understand those feelings. We all understand. We really do. We are not happy that they are there, but we must do something that will bring them out. Our Oge Nkere, which is the prime minister now, served as a finance minister of Briggy. So that means he understands resources, he understands budget, he understands how how money works in political movement. He's not a novice. He is not at the infancy stage that you will be saying no. He was Brigade representative in Washington, D.C., meaning that he has been on the ground where the lobbying is happening, koro, not third-party information. He knows the players, he knows the game. Even when our former prime minister was here, it was the same Oge Nkere, which is our prime minister today, that has been doing this work behind the scene. If he doesn't send picture to our former prime minister, you will not see him post in his handle. So why are you jealous of him today? Why can't you post the same picture he is posting if you had been posting from our previous prime minister? You see? So we really would have to understand the importance of our prime minister. Because while he was in Washington, D.C., according to the official statement, our prime minister met with Senator Ted Cruz. And we know who Ted Cruz is, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That is one of the most powerful positions in the United States government when it comes to foreign policy. So why should we play with such a person? He also met with Speaker Mike Johnson. Go to our website. Let me not begin to call names. www.biafrarepublicgovernment.org. You will see it there for yourself. Seeing is believing. When Ted Cruz immediately heard that Nigeria is paying lobbyists, the man came out and said, individuals who encourage or facilitate religious persecution, such as the persecution of Christians in Nigeria or Ocho in China, pose a threat to the safety and security of Americans and should not be allowed on American soil. That is what Ted Cruz said. He is still standing his ground. If you like, pay all the billions. And Randy Moore said, lobbying can never erase the fact that Nigeria is the epicenter of Christian genocide. So they know. But we cannot blame the lobbyists because that is their business. They must survive. You see? So all these meetings that our prime minister had, they were not minor meetings. No. These meetings were meetings with people who can actually change policy. Our Oge Nkere, that is our prime minister here, now in December 2024, 2025, yeah, no, 2024. When did we do election? I think January or so, 2025, he became the acting prime minister. Immediately after our previous prime minister was arrested. But this January 14, last week Wednesday, election was conducted officially. So he's now the full prime minister. Some of you will be thinking, oh, what about Ekpa? What about KANU? NNAMDI KANU? That feels like betrayal. No, I want to tell you that it is not. It is not betrayal, anything. So let me just address this head on because it is very, very important. Our former prime minister is in Finnish. We have to really take time and explain to you, Biafrans. He is in Finnish prison. Don't allow anybody to tell you he's drinking coffee in his house. He is in Finnish prison. He has been convicted on terrorism charges. Come to Briggy's space and hear the truth so that you understand that what we are doing, we are on the right track. You already know about Onyendu in Nigerian detention in Sokoto. So both leaders are being held by the government that have the ability to pressure them, even to threaten them, and even to manipulate them, and they cannot say no. So this is not disrespect to these our previous leaders. No. This is intelligence 101 that we are implementing. Because when your leader is in the camp enemy, or even in a foreign detention, you cannot take orders from them at first value, because you don't know if those orders are coming from their true will or from their captors. So if a general is captured in war, you don't follow orders that come from the enemy camp, even if they claim they are from the general. You cannot take order, because you cannot verify if those orders are his or if he's being forced to issue those orders. That is why the cabinet elected someone who is free. And who is that? Our Prime Minister, Oge Nkere, someone who is in Washington, D.C., where the lobbying fight is happening. You see? Someone who can make decisions without a gun to his head. Biafrans, you need to understand, drop emotions. Without threat hanging over his family, even without pressure from government that want to destroy our movement. So let it be very, very clear. Support our Prime Minister. So supporting him now, our current Prime Minister, Oge Nkere, is not betraying Simon Ekpa or Onyendu KANU. No, it is honoring what they have built by making sure the movement continues effectively while they are unable to lead. And I want to let you know that what we are doing aligns with our bylaws. This bylaws is an extract from our charter, and I'm going to read it. Please, my people, kindly share the space. Kindly, sorry, I'm rushing because of time. I don't want to expand it so much so that I see how I can.
Don't mind that,
because this is the main thing that
William Clinton
is behind this topic.
terrorists.
Because without all this team working together, nothing will prompt Patrick to come to the interview and give credit to our lobbyists. They are connected. Now, if you go to our bylaws, I'm sorry, I wanted to share it in Jumbotron, but I cannot. I don't know what is happening. 2.17, order of bringing leadership succession. I'm just going to focus on that place. He said, to ensure a successful transition in bringing leadership. Now, listen.
Yesterday, he was calling us Biafra. You see this?
It is crucial to identify key criteria and procedures for succession plan. Therefore, if the Briggy Prime Minister cannot carry out the duties of the office due to incapacitation, incarceration / detention, death, resignation, inability to hold office, removal from office / impeachment, the responsibilities of the office will be passed to another government leader in a specific order as determined by the line of succession. Now, in case of vacancy, incapacitation, incarceration / detention, death, resignation, removal from office, impeachment of the Prime Minister of Briggy, the CLC chairman shall become the leader of Briggy and must immediately summon a cabinet emergency meeting to elect one of the cabinet ministers listed below as an acting prime minister. Yes, people will be saying, yes, this is what CLC did that time. This is what they did. That time they were very, very responsible. They immediately did it, even though they delayed, because Ngozi was working with them. But at the end of the day, they allowed Ngozi to damage a lot of things before they woke up from their slumber and decided to conduct election. That time they believed in bylaws. That time they believed in our charter. But now they don't believe in it anymore. You see? So CLC did this. Yes. That was how we got our acting prime minister as Oge Nkere. That time. Now, no need to read the line of succession because we have prime minister, we have chair of CLC, because this era is now over. So no need. Now let me go on again. The acting prime minister shall function in the capacity of the prime minister for as long as necessary until the status of the prime minister can be determined with respect to returning to the office. Did we do this? The answer is yes. Our prime minister, previous prime minister, was detained and he was sentenced. I think that was September. So his fate was determined. We now knew his status for the next 6 years. This our prime minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, former prime minister, will not return to office so soon. So did you expect us to fold our hands? This is what the CLC would have done. It continues. It said, the CLC shall initiate the procedure to hold an election to elect a new prime minister within 3 months. People will now say, so it is the work of CLC. I'm going to take you to know what CLC did, that we don't have CLC again. Okay. Now, what happened? By this time, exactly the month that CLC would have done this, they now organize a coup. We are coming to that. We are giving you evidence so that if you are sitting down there thinking that we are doing everything out of the script of our the bylaws and the rules of our Briggy, know that you are sleeping. So the CLC shall initiate the procedure to hold an election to elect a new prime minister within 3 months from the time it becomes obvious that the previous prime minister will not be returning to the job. To elect a new prime minister, the CLC shall conduct an election where Briggy cabinet members, representatives, and administrators may vote to elect a new prime minister. The winner of the election with a simple majority vote shall become the prime minister. In the event of a new person becomes the prime minister-elect, a formal handover from the acting prime minister to the prime minister-elect shall be expected to take place as soon as possible, not later than 7 days from the date of election. Now, the only thing that is missing here is the CRC, because the CRC himself became the head of the saboteur to destroy the government with a coup. That is the reason CRC did not initiate this election, because CRC was dismembered. I'm going to take you there. But what happened? The other part was implemented. The British cabinet members gathered on Wednesday last week and they voted a new prime minister in the person of Oge Nkere. In fact, we gave 100 block vote.
Yes.
Because he is the right person.
Do we stop it
whether you like him or not? So now, people may say, we did not hear about this, what Imam Madabu did. I'm going to let you know. I don't mind, even if this is the only thing we'll achieve today, because we want you to understand that this game did not start today. If we had waited, Imam Madabu would have destroyed Briggy. This Briggy sustained 2 coups in 1 year. 2 coups in 1 year. So he was an irresponsible CRC chairman, the head of the saboteur. You know, he doesn't have any hair on his head. Whatever is there are all crooks. So on July 5th, 2025, there was a memo, and I'm going to read it. I may read very fast. I've shared it in my handle,